Give me a chance to repay you for such an entertaining evening.
And maybe you'll get a chance to win back some of what he's lost.
How could we possibly turn down such a lovely offer?
But don't worry, win or lose, you'll get your bracelet back, and Jason and Anna will get what they deserve lying to me.
You have run right up to the edge of your very own grave. Now what?
Who walks out with their husband, takes a couple of steps toward the bathroom, and then suddenly says, "Tell my husband I'm taking a rideshare." Who does that? Worst line ever. And Lois, where's her accent? She sounds completely different now, almost impaired. Just saying, I miss her sassy accent. I've been watching General Hospital since I was a teenager, and now, at 66, I can't wait for Lucky to return to Port Charles. I'm really hoping for some flashbacks of him and Elizabeth from the old days. It would be great to see Lucky and Elizabeth back together, especially if it means Elizabeth gets away from Rick. Sure, their history is complicated, but with Jonathan Jackson returning, it feels like a fresh start. I've always been a fan of Rebecca Herbst. After over 25 years on GH, she's still just as stunning, credit to her DNA and skincare routine. Jonathan Jackson, too, hasn't aged much, even if he's still trying to grow that beard. I've always loved when those two work together on screen. Wouldn't it be hilarious if they found another donor for Lulu, and she's awake and fine by the time the gang gets home? Lucky doesn't get to play the hero, and Anna and Jason wasted their time. Meanwhile, Laura and Kevin return with a bunch of African souvenirs. Classic GH twists. Then there's Portia. She talks about avoiding crazy, dramatic rich families, yet her daughter literally lives on the estate. She's all smug about Nina sending the FCC after Drew, but Portia should really take a look in the mirror. She's no better. Tampering with test results to mess with Heather's court case? I'm surprised that error got caught so quickly. Did she not know there was a second test sent to another lab? Also, did you see Jason's face at the end of the show? You could tell he was sensing trouble ahead. Jason's always been able to read people like a book. Solid episode today. But honestly, it's just another day with the same old boring characters. Portia, Curtis, Willow, Drew, Micheal, and Lucky. Oh, and now they've added Holly to the mix. They could all go, and we wouldn't miss much. And don't even get me started on Lois' sudden transformation. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Messy Syrup. It's me, Abby, here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching, so let's dive into today's video. Portia deserves to lose her job and medical license for tampering with Heather's blood work. Curtis has no idea, but Portia has already destroyed their marriage with her actions. Regardless of what people think of Heather, she's still a human being who deserves dignity and respect, just like anyone else. And yes, I know it's just a soap opera, but still, Jason needs to take that guy and mop the floor with him, seriously, after everything. As for Drew, his words to Willow are only going to make her more obsessed with him, especially since her mother, Nina, will be by Drew's side throughout his campaign. If Willow isn't careful, she'll end up losing her family, and then she and Portia can be miserable together. The writing lately has been terrible. The storylines are so boring. If Lulu is dying, why is it taking so long to bring Lucky back? The Drew/Willow storyline makes no sense to me at all, and Lois' new voice? It's grating. Holly needs to go. She adds nothing to the show. Portia and Curtis should definitely be sidelined for a while. Oh, and I know how Sam is going to die. She's going to drown while looking for the gun. Lucky's return has been completely underwhelming. Laura and Kevin are still missing, and it looks like it's up to Anna and Jason to rescue the Spencer. At least today's episode showed some progress, with Holly and Anna seemingly working together to get Anna and Jason an invite to the compound where they'll rescue Lucky. However, it seems like Sidwell is onto them, thanks to a tip from a guy at the club who overheard Anna and Holly. Lucky still loves Elizabeth, and it's that love that's giving him the strength to try to escape. But come on, Jason is the only one using his brain. while Anna and Holly have a public conversation about their plan. What? They couldn't step into the ladies' room. Jason is definitely going to need help on the inside, though. How is Anna a spy and a police officer for so long when they keep writing her like this? Don't worry, Lucky, help is coming, but certainly not thanks to Holly and Anna. And can we talk about how terrible Lucky's storyline has been? He's been dreaming about Elizabeth, who he hasn't talked to in 15 years, and somehow he's imagining her older, and there's no relationship with his own kid. I really hope the writing improves by the time he gets home. It's been almost a month since his return, and he's still locked in a cell. Come on, GH, we need better storytelling. I know this is a soap opera, but realistically, Lucky wouldn't be able to be Lulu's donor. For starters, he's traveled outside the US, which might limit his eligibility. Plus, he's been badly beaten and would need time to recover before even thinking about donating. They're not going to take an organ from someone who's physically injured. But then again, this is a soap. I can't believe Drew can even look Micheal in the eye with what he's doing with his wife. I don't know why the writers are making Drew act like this. I used to like his character, but now, not so much. Are they hinting at putting Dex and Molly together? They shared a few scenes recently, and they're set to appear together on Monday's episode. Also, did Miss Goody Two-Shoes Portia change Heather's test results? I've never really liked Holly, and this whole storyline is just boring. Let's get Lucky back home to save his sister and be a father to his son already. Drew is actively trying to push Micheal out of the company he's worked at for so long. Honestly, Drew needs to leave. He hasn't been the same since Jason returned, and now he's taking advantage of everyone around him. As for Drew and Willow, no thanks, that's a fast-forward moment for me. It was nice to see Ned, but that whole scene felt like a waste. And don't get me started on Lois. She's overstayed her welcome. It's time for her to go home, if she still has one. I miss Olivia, and it feels like whoever's running the show is just running it into the ground with one bad decision after another. It's like they want to ruin the show. Another frustration. ABC's streaming will end on September 23rd, and General Hospital won't be available on the services I already pay for. I don't want to have to pay for yet another streaming service just for one show, especially when I can't afford it. I've been watching GH since the 70s, and this really sucks. Here's an idea. Why not start an affordable streaming service for all the soaps? Imagine being able to stream all our favorite shows in one place, including the classics that are no longer on air. If it were around $10 a month, I'd jump on that instantly. I'm sure some people would even pay more for a commercial-free experience. Personally, I don't mind commercials. I use them for quick breaks. I'm sure I'm not the only one. Finally, the Elizabeth and Lucky scene, incredible. Their chemistry was off the charts. Jonathan Jackson still embodies Lucky Spencer so perfectly. And seriously, how does he still look 18? Kevin and Laura have been on vacation in real life, but once they're back, things might get interesting. Meanwhile, Drew's world is about to come crashing down. The writers are definitely setting up his ruthless, dirty-playing opponent. Remember when his family warned him about her when he first announced his candidacy? Now that Drew and Nena are being seen in public together, it's only a matter of time before she starts digging up dirt on him, and she'll be the one to expose him. Right now, Drew thinks everything is going perfectly. Today, he told Nena he's up in the polls, feeling confident. Oh boy, he has no idea what's coming. As for Portia, she absolutely needs to lose her job and medical license for tampering with Heather's blood work. Curtis has no clue, but Portia has already wrecked their marriage. Whether people like Heather or not, she's still a human being who deserves respect, just like anyone else. And yeah, I know it's just a soap opera, but it's still frustrating. Jason needs to mop the floor with that guy, seriously. After Drew's recent conversation with Willow, she's only going to become more obsessed with him, especially with Nena by Drew's side throughout his campaign. If Willow's not careful, she'll end up losing her family, and then she and Portia can be miserable together. Can we please end this Drew and Willow nonsense, or at least find someone new for Micheal? The whole Lucky storyline is getting stale too. Does Lucky even remember Sean at this point? As for Sidwell, he clearly doesn't realize he's up against the Enforcer. And it's not just Anna and Jason he's after. Blabbermouth at the casino must have mentioned Holly too. I mean, could Anna and Holly not have discussed their plan somewhere private? Fingers crossed this storyline picks up soon. Hopefully, by the time Jason and Anna arrive, Lucky will have already escaped, or maybe Laura and Kevin will come to the rescue. Speaking of which, Laura and Kevin have been missing in action since they left town. It's time for them to return. I bet no one is paying attention to the lies Rick is telling Heather and Elizabeth about the hip replacement poisoning. He's just after a big payday that he still hasn't gotten. He didn't get any money from Elizabeth when they were together, and when he married Nina, everyone saw that he was only after her money. Now, he is hoping to cash in by manipulating Heather in court. Rick will never learn that his greedy schemes always backfire. It's been said before, but I'm so tired of the writers killing off characters. They should be more creative than resorting to that. Sam Kelly has been a significant part of the show for years. She may not have had great material recently, but that's not her fault. Finn Micheal is another character I've grown to appreciate, and there's no reason to kill him off either. Let Finn leave off screen, get his daughter, and move elsewhere so future writers can bring him back when the time is right. It amazes me how many rude, nasty people there are online and in the world today. It feels like 80% of people are nasty, and only 20% are nice. I want to thank the sweet and fun people. God bless you. I came here for lighthearted discussions about GH, but the rudeness has taken away the joy. Life is hard enough, and I'm not dealing with it anymore. There's a nicer group out there, and I'm going to stick with them. I miss the good old days when people were friendly and cared about one another for our world. Why is Portia so hateful towards so many people? The Quartermains, Ava, Scotty, Sunny, Laura, Spencer, and Nicholas. I get her dislike for Heather and Cyrus, but the rest? It doesn't make sense. GH, the Elizabeth and Lucky scenes today reminded me of when Elizabeth was hurt as a teenager and Lucky found her in the snow. He was her hero that night, rescuing her and gaining her trust. Today's scenes were a reversal. Elizabeth is now the one trying to rescue Lucky, even though he's hallucinating her. We should give Elizabeth more credit. She's stronger than people think. If she wanted to throw herself at Jason or Rick, she could have, but she hasn't. She's grown up, wiser, and much stronger than people give her credit for. She's a single mother raising her kids, with her priorities firmly set on her family and career. She's also helping out with Violet. Elizabeth shows young women that you don't need a man to be happy. You can make yourself happy. She's not repeating the mistakes she's made in the past with relationships. She's more guarded and wiser now when it comes to love. She deserves a lot more credit. As for Lois, Ned is right. Your accent is what makes you, you. It's good to refine your speech, but what makes us unique is our individuality, and your accent is part of that. Don't change it. Embrace it. And finally, we all suspect that Portia tampered with Heather's test results. Don't worry, the truth will come out eventually, and the fallout is going to be interesting. So hang on to your hats, folks. Lucky, how can you miss someone when you were never really around them? His liver won't be fit to donate either. He's quite the drinker, just like his father was. Vizia pretty much confirmed that. Looks like Lulu will end up receiving Sam's liver instead. Thursday and Friday's episodes were so boring, especially considering how much they still need to wrap up. I can't deal with these dragged-out storylines anymore. Something new needs to happen, and this whole John-Kate situation needs to go away. The fact that no one seems to care about getting the bipolar meds in jail or even Ava's situation is frustrating. Meanwhile, wasn't Laura supposed to be looking for Lucky in the first place? Why does everyone else think they can do a better job? Anna, for being supposedly the best spy, is clueless. She's walking right into a trap, following along as if she's got things under control. It's painful to watch. I'm so tired of Drew constantly showing up in Willow's space. She needs to be strong enough to tell him to kick rocks if she wants to keep her family intact. She really doesn't want to face Michael's wrath. Anna's supposed to be the most intelligent spy, but she sits in a casino, openly discussing her plans with Holly like it's no big deal. She lays out her entire plan right in front of a guy who's friends with Sidwell. Seriously, the writers are making her look like a complete amateur. They need to stop acting like she's such a mastermind when she's making rookie mistakes. By the way, can someone correct me if I'm wrong? When Christina got caught up in the whole cult storyline, didn't Molly turn her back on her? I might be remembering that wrong, but I thought Molly wasn't supportive at all. I think the reason Drew didn't make Michael CEO of Aurora is because he's planning to make a move on Michael's wife. If Drew succeeds, Michael wouldn't be in a position to tank Aurora in retaliation. Don't get me wrong, Drew has a vendetta, but it's not against Michael, it's against Nina. Now, Natalia needs to pick a struggle, be either boring or hateful. They must think that by getting rid of her daughter, we'll all forget she's a homophobe, but that's not going to happen. And while that's bad enough, her real crime from an entertainment perspective is being unbelievably boring. She's practically a bronze statue Sonny lusts over and talks at, because he certainly doesn't talk to her. They just say things in each other's general direction. She has no real personality other than being a homophobe and a terrible mother. Her sole purpose seems to be giving Sonny a woman to interact with on screen. If the writers insist on keeping her around, they need to give her some purpose and a personality. Why is she even attracted to Sonny? Their entire relationship is just Sonny complaining about his family while she sits there, either beautifully silent or vaguely referencing her own past relationships. Eva LaRue is a talented actress and daytime royalty. Wasting her in this nothing role is a disservice to both her and the audience, especially since I used to love Dr. Maria Santos Gray. With the right material, she could be a real asset to the show and have great chemistry with Maurice Benard. What they're doing with her character right now is shameful. If I were made head writer on Monday, not tomorrow, it's the weekend, I'd reveal that Natalia has been playing the long game all along and is secretly a mob boss herself, working to take over Sonny's business, sexily. Unless she's Alcazar's sister, wife, or somehow connected to one of Sonny's enemies, there's no reason for her continued involvement. And let's not forget her appalling comments about her daughter. Going to Christina, who had just lost a baby and had major surgery, to ask her to break up with her girlfriend? That's beyond awful. So, do we think Portia changed Heather's test results? Surely, she'll get caught eventually. I actually like the idea of Heather reverting to her old self. She was always making mistakes and trying to take shortcuts, but she wasn't manic and crazy. Watching her navigate her new situation could be fun. I really hope this leads to a compelling storyline. A couple of days ago, during Christina's session with Felicia, she referred to her fall from the window as an accident. Felicia even reacted with surprise, prompting Christina to repeat that it was an accident. Have I missed her admitting this to anyone else? Because all I've seen is her blaming Ava for pushing her. Even after Christina had a flashback of tripping, she still insists that Ava pushed her and needs to pay. This is the first time Christina called it an accident, which was surprising. Hopefully, she'll come forward and admit it, but I have a feeling she won't, especially since she hates Ava. I think Court and Chris are scrambling due to the backlash, and they missed writing the scene where Christina realizes it was an accident. It was glaring today when Michael was all, "We must stay away from the boathouse at all costs." Since the Sonny situation with the murder of a federal agent, there's been the Cody family picnic with special guest Tracy being rude to low-level service employees. followed by Willow passing out from her lust for Drew at the exact same spot. It just feels inconsistent. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree or disagree? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates. Your opinions matter, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.